Good day, learners. Welcome to part 2 of our 3-part lesson series on special products. Just a short review. On part 1, we've talked about square of a binomial. If you haven't seen that video, don't worry. I will put the link to that video in the description below. For this lesson, which is part 2, we will talk about product of a sum and difference, also called difference of two squares. In algebra, we often encounter expressions like x plus 5 times x minus 5, 3y plus 2 times 3y minus 2, a plus 7 times a minus 7, or 2m plus 1 times 2m minus 1. These are expressions that can actually be solved using long multiplication method, but that's gonna take us some time. So this is where special product patterns come into play. The expressions that you can see on the screen can be solved faster and more accurately using a special product pattern called product of a sum and difference pattern. This is also called the difference of two squares. So let's look at our example to see how this would work out. Let's have our first example. What I'm going to do is I will solve this problem using long method, and then later I will solve this again using the special product pattern. So we have here x plus 5 times x minus 5. Take note that we are multiplying two binomials, so we can solve this using the method called the FOIL method, where we multiply the first terms x times x, that's x squared, and then we multiply the outer terms, x times negative 5 is negative 5x, and then we multiply the inner terms, positive 5 times x, that's positive 5x, and then we multiply the last terms, positive 5 times negative 5 is negative 25, and then we will combine similar terms. Now notice that we have here negative 5x, and we will add it to a positive 5x. So that means they will cancel out each other. So we are now left with x squared minus 25. So like I said, this process will take us some time, but there is a faster and better way to do this. Now, I will solve again the problem, but this time I will use a special product pattern called the product of a sum and difference pattern, also known as difference of two squares. The pattern looks like this: a plus b times a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. So let's analyze first the pattern. If you would notice, both binomials have the same first term, and they also have the same second term. The only difference is that in the first binomial we have a plus, and in the second binomial we have a minus. The same with our problem. So basically what we're going to do is we will square the first term, that's a squared, and then we will square the second term, that's b squared, and then we will put a minus in between them. Now let's use the pattern to solve this problem. What we're going to do is we will square the first term, so that's x times x, that's x squared, and then we will square the second term, so that's 5 times 5, which is 25, and then we will put a minus between them. So this will be our answer. You see how faster we did the problem by using the pattern? Example number 2. 3y plus 2 times 3y minus 2. To solve this, we will use the pattern a plus b times a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. Again, what we will do is we will square the first term, that's a squared, and we will square the second term, that's b squared, and then we will put a minus in between them. So let's do that in our problem. We will square first the first term, so that's 3y times 3y. Let's solve here. 3y times 3y. So now we are multiplying monomials. 3y times 3y is 9y squared. So 3y squared will be 9y squared. And then we will also square the second term, so that's 2 times 2, which is 4. And then we will put a minus between them. So this is now our answer, 9y squared minus 4. Example number 3, a plus 7 times a minus 7. To solve this, we will use the pattern a plus b times a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. So we will use this pattern now. What we are going to do is we will square the first term. A times a is a squared, and then we will square the second term. 7 times 7 is equal to 49, and then we will just put a minus between them. So our answer is a squared minus 49. Example number 4, 2m plus 1 times 2m minus 1. So now we will use the pattern a plus b times a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. So to answer this using the pattern, we will square first the first term. So that's 2m times 2m. 2m times 2m. So now we are multiplying monomials. 2m times 2m is 4m squared. So 2m squared will be 4m squared. And then we will square the second term. So that's 1 times 1, which is also 1. And then we will just put a minus between them. So this is now our answer, 4m squared minus 1. Now let's have our last example, 4x plus 3y times 4x minus 3y. We will solve this using the pattern a plus b times a minus b is equal to a squared minus b squared. So if ever you already forgot, let's analyze again the pattern. We have the same first term, and we also have the same second term, but the only difference is that the first binomial has a plus, but the second binomial has a minus. Notice how it is similar to our problem. And then what we're gonna do is we will just square the first term, so that's a squared, and then we will square the second term, that's b squared, and then we will just put a minus in between them. So that is what we are going to do here in our problem. So we will square first the first term, 4x squared. How do we do that? We just multiply 4x times 4x, and this is equal to 16x squared. So 4x squared will be 16x squared. And then we will also square the second term. How do we do that? That's 3y times 3y, and it is equal to 9y squared. So 3y squared will be 9y squared, and then we will just put a minus in between them. So this is now our answer, 16x squared minus 9y squared. So that's it for our examples. So now for your activity, we have here a 5-item activity for you to work on. So feel free to play again the video from the beginning so that you'll have a good idea on how to answer this. On our next video, we will talk about special products part 3, and we will focus on cube of a binomial. If you find this video helpful, please do me a favor and subscribe. Also, like and share the video so that we will be able to reach as many learners as possible. Also, do not forget to hit the notification bell so that you will be updated whenever we will add a new video in our channel. Thank you for watching and see you again on our next video.